The election has descended into utter garbage.
Obviously, because Trump's in it, it was headed that way no matter what. But as you know, there was the horrible, horrible jokes, racist, awful things said at Madison Square Garden. Then President Biden makes a little flub, and he immediately came back and said, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean to call Trump supporters garbage. But naturally, the snowflake right, the fuck your feelings crowd that has their feelings on their sleeves, came out and went bananas. So let me just play a few clips of Trump.
You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just and you can't be president if you hate the American people. And there's a lot of hatred there.
I mean, first and foremost, it's reported that during January 6th, he said to his advisors he wished his supporters didn't look so trashy.
Right.
There's the garbage thing again. Secondly, here's the deal. His supporters are garbage. Okay, they are. But here's the difference. I can say that they're garbage, and Joe Biden can say that they're garbage, and Hillary Clinton can say they're a basket of deplorables. At the end of the day, if any of those women have life-threatening pregnancies and need care, even if they were at January 6th, I'm not a sociopath that wishes them harm. I want them to have access to health care. I don't want these people shot in the streets because of the inaction of the right-wing MAGA movement to not remove firearms from the streets and make our community safer. I don't want their kids that are born LGBTQ plus to not have rights. That's the difference. Their movement is total garbage. And I think what Biden meant is while Trump is going on and all his starting lineup of racist and Nazis out there at Madison Square Gardens is they're just browbeating all of these people. It was garbage. It was total garbage. They cheered, they chuckled. It was knee slapping. And then all of a sudden, they get called out for being the absolute trash that they are, and they are having the come-aparts. It is pathetic. These people are so thin-skinned. This is exactly the way they use religion. Mm-hmm. We're going to persecute people, and the minute you criticize that, we're going to come apart and say, oh my God, they're coming after religion. So they persecute anybody who disagrees with them. And the minute it's called out and criticized, oh my God, you can't say half the country is crazy. Yes,
right.
We absolutely can. The majority of Germans supported Hitler, and they were fucking crazy and dangerous and evil. And that's just the way it is. I mean, they're pathetic.
They're the biggest titty babies on the planet. But what I loved is the Lincoln Project came back and showed some of the things that Donald Trump has called Harris supporters, Biden supporters.
And it's not her. It's the people that surround her. They're scum. They're scum, and they want to take down our country. They are absolute garbage.
A total piece of garbage.
Garbage.
Garbage. Garbage. Talking about garbage.
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 Garbage. Talking about garbage.
I'd love to be nice, but I'm dealing against real garbage.
Garbage. Garbage. Garbage. Garbage.
Can I use the word garbage?
Garbage. Garbage.
She's a scum. She's garbage.
This scum. This garbage. Pile of garbage. First time I've ever said garbage. A garbage can. We're like a garbage can. Garbage can. Garbage can for the rest of the world. We're a garbage can. How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
What drives me the most crazy about Trump and these Republicans, they're on the moral high ground. They're like, oh, you called us our supporters garbage. We're so high and mighty. He is the worst, most divisive person. The way he speaks about people, the enemy within, all of the crap. The hypocrisy seems to be lost on that entire movement.
What's worse is this man has said that immigrants are not humans.
Right.
They are animals. He said that. And there is an effort by all of MAGA to dehumanize immigrants because their plans beyond that are far more nefarious. And this is all political theater. They're dying for something to clamor onto. On the one hand, they say, Joe Biden is dementia, don't listen to a word he says. And on the other hand, he calls them out and rightfully so. And, and of course, he is a president for everybody and he corrects it. Donald Trump would never correct anything. He triples down on the Hannibal Lecter crap.
Right.
Because he's so stupid. And yes, MAGA, I said he was stupid because he thinks that because Hannibal Lecter was in a sane asylum, that's the same thing as people seeking asylum. That's the level of ignorance that this whole movement is. And so, yes, their ideology is garbage, but it's dangerous. Dangerous garbage.
What is so shocking about the whole thing, and I don't know if you saw it, but he rolls out in his Village People trash can outfit and in a garbage truck. I mean, it's just, he looked as orange as he's ever looked. He could barely walk. He couldn't climb up, but he won't release his medical records. But that's a different story. So then we're going to see what he calls Harris supporters, because garbage was not far enough for him.
You remember that just a few months ago, they said 1,818,000 jobs were created, and they weren't. They're fake jobs. And they were going to release the correct information. They were going to do a little deletion, and they were going to release it right after the election, but they got caught. We can't let ourselves be duped by these people. These are criminal people as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, here's the thing. I can take whatever he or MAGA wants to say about us, and we get ripped in the comment section because I'm a big girl. I can put on my big girl panties and handle it. What I can't handle is when they pick on marginalized groups, when they bully people that are already bullied enough systemically by the laws that they want to, that are already laid out, discrimination protections that are already being removed. That's the part that bothers me. I'm a big girl. I can take it. I'm not a pussy like all of these MAGA people that I'm going to just completely melt down because Trump calls me a commie or a liberal or scum or whatever. It means nothing to me, but it means everything to me. The way he picks on minorities and the way he picks on the LGBTQ plus community. And let's not even get to, that's without even getting to the way they speak about the trans community, which has the highest suicide rates of any marginalized group. These people are just looking to survive. And it's pathetic how cruel this movement is. It's inherently racist. It's inherently homophobic. It's inherently white supremacist. And this is what happens when white people get judged on the content of their character and not the color of their skin. They have a complete freak out meltdown.
So another thing last night that he was saying at his rallies, I mean, the hubris to be able to go out and do what he does offends me to no end. It scares me. It's dangerous. But what's even more dangerous is now something that is so on brand for him, because as we know, he's been found guilty for sexual assault. He says this about women.
And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
Lucky us.
Lucky us. Mr. Grab him by the pussy. If you're a star, they'll let you do it. Mr. Sexual Assault Boy, he's going to protect us whether we like it or not. I'm terrified.
Well, here's the problem. He says this stuff, and then you have this whole army of people. And I saw on Twitter this morning, all of right wing is talking about men, the way your wife votes is your business.
Right. I saw that.
She needs to vote the way you tell her to, and on and on. And so this assault on women has been sustained, and now it's pervasive through all of the MAGA universe. His way of protecting women is to remove protections in the medical field. And you have ProPublica that has released really in-depth journalism about women that have died because they were not able to receive access to life-saving DNCs. And Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Lindsey Graham, Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, Mitch McConnell, and all the freaks on the Supreme Court think that that is their business. And I'm going to say it again. They like the cruelty.
They do.
They like the suffering that women and minority groups have to go through. This white supremacist structure that we live in is clinging on to this patriarchal power for dear life. And they have all of these algorithms and Fox News, all of these media empires owned by billionaires that seek their own interests, that brainwash and get everybody all riled up, that the immigrants, the women, the gays, they're all coming for you. And really the most dangerous people that I see in America right now are these entitled white men.
Absolutely. They would rather women die as long as they can maintain power and control over them. They do not give a shit if women are dying, if women lose their right to fertility, become sterile, as long as they are in charge and have the power. And it terrifies me 5 days out from the election.
No, it's really concerning when you see the millions of people that feel so justified in their judgment and their hate. And I don't understand why they don't mind their own business. Life can throw a lot of different things at you. And at any given time, you're going to need some of these protections and rights that the MAGA movement is striving to take away. But here's the fundamental problem with America, I think, with especially like white Christian America. They value capitalism over human life.
I don't think there's any question.
And you see in all of these mega churches around here in Red State, Oklahoma, where we live, they will sell out everything for money. Oh, well, the stock market, or, oh, well, my personal tax bill. And there's this worship of money that is inherently immoral. I think you can both be a capitalist and strive for everybody to have a piece of a pie, and maybe somebody's pie is bigger and somebody's pie is smaller, but not advocating against poverty and helping sick people is just really a moral shortcoming of today's Republican Party. And it started decades ago. I mean, Ronald Reagan's the one that declared, poverty to be so terrible. And then there was always this movement to browbeat poor people, that they're sucking off the government, that they're lazy, look at them on food stamps, this real cruelty in diminishing people that were poor. And that still resonates today. And you see on the right wing this worship of capitalism that is really, really gross. And don't get me wrong, listener, I like capitalism. I work hard. I work hard for the money that I earn. But I still think we need to advocate to pull people out of poverty. I think that should be the moral calling when you have a country this wealthy.
What's interesting about that point is Republicans act like there's only this much amount of money, and if we share it with everybody, they'll have less. And that's just simply not the case. That is not the case. Just because some people come out of poverty doesn't mean you're going to have less, especially when you're worth, $40 billion or whatever it is. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you guys later.
It's so